history is important.
That's right.
Understanding history is important. You understand? And a lot of us as blacks, Hispanics, and natives don't really understand history. We know the things that happened to us personally, but we really don't understand the history and why we in the condition that we in. You understand? Well, this class likes to not temporarily, but we like to set the record straight and get some understanding to our people and let our people understand why we go through the things that we go through. That's basically what history is about. History is about what's going on in America, what's going on abroad. We just came off the radio show, talked about a lot of history, the things that's going on. You understand? And with that, I want to say we the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969, and what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called black, so-called Hispanic, and the so-called native are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. You understand? With that, listen, it's important to know your history. It's important to know the history of the things that are going on around you. You understand? And that's what we're going to bring out tonight. A lot of the things that we're going to bring out will give people a better insight of what's really happening around us, what's going on with this World War III. You understand? The Bible tells us that there will be 3 wars. World War I was the first war. World War II was the second war. And right now, we in the midst of the 3rd war. What does woe mean? Somebody online tell me, what does woe mean? We got anybody online yet?
Not yet. So
well,
he probably don't know we back yet.
Huh?
He probably don't know we back yet.
Oh, okay. Somebody tell me, what does woe mean? Nephew, what does woe mean?
War.
That too. It means that, but I want a word that's better than that. Give me a word that's better than that. Hey, listen, nephew. It begins with a D.
Destruction.
There we go. That's the stuff. Woe means destruction in the Bible. There are 3 woes. The earth was destroyed in the first woe. The first woe was World War I. The earth was destroyed again. Not destroyed like it's obliterated and it's no more earth. Talking about the nations of the earth were destroyed in the second woe.
Right, sir.
You understand? That was World War II. And now we're in the midst of World War III. This earth is going to be destroyed again. And from this 3rd woe, there's going to be an empire that's going to rise that will never be destroyed again. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, it's important to know history. Why is it important to know history? Knowing history is important because it helps us to understand the past and helps us to also understand who we are. Listen, we've been through a lot of war and destruction as a people. And I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, the true biblical Jews of the Bible. We're Israel. You understand? That's what I'm talking about. You understand? We see what's going on in South America now. We see what the United States is trying to do with Venezuela. You understand? We heard the Colombian president warn the United States if they come down there. The Colombian president also has deployed military forces along that Venezuelan border. You understand what I'm saying? They have deployed military forces along that border. And a lot of us, especially black people, we don't even know what's going on. You understand? We don't understand what's going on. And it's important that we do. It says knowing history is important because it helps us to learn from past mistakes. You understand? Learning history helps us learn from past mistakes. The Bible has all of our history in it. You understand?
Right.
It has the mistakes that we made that placed us in the conditions that we in right now. You understand? But a lot of us, because we have been oppressed, you understand? And because we've been lied to by our leaders, we don't believe in the Bible. But the Bible predicted World War I. It's in the Bible. The Bible predicted World War II. The Bible predicted the Roman fall. The Bible predicted the Grecian fall, the Greco-Roman empires to fall. You understand? but we have been lied to, and we haven't been taught the Bible properly. Right here in the UPK, under Commanding General Yohana, this is where you learn and get true understanding of the Bible.
That's right.
And true understanding of your true history. Understand? Hey, listen, what I want to do is, I want to grab a scripture. I want to grab Deuteronomy 28. This is a bedrock scripture. This is a bedrock scripture. Deuteronomy 28, we're going to start at 15. Understand? We're going to start at 15. Let me know when you get there.
Okay.
Now, Peter, you grabbing that? You going to read it for me?
Yeah.
Need you read loud for
Speak
me,
loud.
all right?
Yes.
Hey, you got slide. You got
Okay.
slide.
Lies. I think this is up there.
Grab it.
Come.
Let me read that. Hey, and my kids on now.
Yeah. Oh, come.
Don't worry, everybody. Keep open. You ain't gonna hear it on that, no?
Okay.
Yeah, we ain't got the speaker right there.
Come on.
I'm gonna make sure everybody here. Hey, nephew, I want you to let everybody know where you at.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Yep.
But it shall come to pass,
Say that again.
but it shall come to pass.
Oh, right there. It says, but it shall come to pass. What does that mean? It shall come to pass. That means that it's going to happen. It shall come to pass. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
It says, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Listen, if we won't listen to the Most High, if we won't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, is it my number? Oh. Got go. It says that thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Listen, we won't listen to the Most High. If we won't take his advice, if we won't take his guidance, go ahead.
to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
And it says to observe, to do all his commandments. Understand, to do everything that he told us to do on this day, this very day. That means immediately we have to do what he said to do on this day. Go ahead.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
It says all these curses will come upon thee. We have hella curses on us today. You understand? From drug addiction, you understand, to high cholesterol, to heart disease, you understand, to unemployment, to redlining. All of these are diseases that have come upon us. You understand? Go ahead, nephew.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
It says, cursed shall thou be in the city. You understand? In every city that we have, we are a cursed people. You understand? We are cursed people. Cursed in the city. Look at the things that happen to us in the city. Look at the things that happen to us all around this country, in every major city. We are cursed people. You understand? Go ahead, nephew.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Hey, listen, even when we try to leave the city and we try to go far out, we try to live amongst the other people, we cursed in those places too. There's nowhere that we can escape from the curse of not following the Most High. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 17. Shall be thy basket and thy store.
Go ahead.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body,
Go ahead.
and the fruit
Land.
of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Hey, listen, we're going to be cursed in everything that we do. All of the businesses we try to start, we're going to be cursed at. Think about this, right? Asians can come into our neighborhood and they can start up a business and they can thrive in our neighborhoods off of us. You understand? But as soon as you put a black business in there, black businesses do not last. The longest a black business will last is 2 years. After 2 years, the black business is gone. We cursed in our basket. We cursed in everything that we do. All of the business deals that we have, those business deals fall through. You understand? Because we are cursed as a people. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Look at our children. You understand? Our children are destroyed because of these curses.
Yeah.
Because we live in under an oppressor that's evil and cares nothing about us. You understand? Curse of the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, thy flock, everything that we have, everything that we try to venture into. Curse. You understand? We destroyed as a people. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goes out.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly.
You get old right here. Listen. Everything that we do. Listen. We had schools, right? Schools are gone. Right? We had businesses. We had shopping centers. Gone. Understand? We had our own banking system. All of that is gone. Cursed. Understand? Black Wall Street burned to the ground. Rosewood burned to the ground. Seneca Village burned to the ground. All these black cities and towns all around America burned to the ground. Because we cursed as a people. In everything that we put our hands in, everything that we try to do, it's cursed. You understand?
Yeah.
Listen, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say like if you ask any black, Hispanic, Latino man, like they'll tell you like it's like what is the famous saying that we say is, man, I can't win for lose.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do, man, like anything it always crumbles. Always. You know what I mean?
It's cursed because we can't come together as people because we always looking out for number uno. You understand what I'm saying? And listen, the main reason why we still curse today is because we trust in America.
Right.
We trust in every little thing of America. We have the spirit of America. You understand? What they call that? What is it called? That people used to think.
About America?
Yeah. What do we have in it? What is it called? What did they call it? And what is it called in the Bible? What is it? The chicken hand?
Oh.
Mark of the beast.
Mark of the
Mark of the beast. There you go. Mark of the beast. You got it. You got it. My man Quran right there.
Yeah, good.
The mark of the beast. You understand? What is that mark?
The mark that the Lord gave Cain.
Not that, right? Mark of the beast is the way we think.
Yeah,
You think of America, when you love America, when you wear that red, white, and blue on your heart, that's the mark of the beast. Where ICE is the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Joining ICE, joining the military force. Think about it, right? What was the thing that they used on, especially back in the 80s? You understand? Be all you can be.
Right.
You understand? You need that college education. Come into the military and be all you can be. See the world. You understand? We believed in it. It was in us. My uncle did it. You understand what I'm saying? He joined that military. You understand? He had the mark of the beast. You understand? He was a Marine, came out, stout.
right.
Stout Marine. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's that mark of the beast, to believe in America, to believe that voting is going to go out here. If you go out here and vote and you're going to be able to change something. You ever heard somebody say, well, we got to start in the lower courts,
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yeah.
And we got to work our way up. And then we're going to change this right here.
Yeah.
And then as we taking over this right here, you hear people say taking over? What have we ever took over? That's not even in us to do that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's when you know we caught up in the mark of the beast. You understand? Now, go ahead, what you got?
The
The
Ku
rock.
Klux Klan.
Look,
The Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan is the mark of the beast. That's the beast itself. You understand?
When somebody stands up and says, I stand with Israel,
Or I stand with I stand with Iran, or I stand with Palestine.
right.
Or you understand? Officer Quran hit it on the head. When people stand with other nations that care nothing about them, that's the mark of the beast. I stand with the United States. I stand on everything the United States stand for. God bless America. Listen,
Right.
those songs are the mark of the beast. Those songs are the mark of the beast. You
Right.
understand? Go ahead.
If I could, it's so heavy. Like this, it's so heavy. Like this whole mark of the beast stuff. I remember that, like when all the doctrine came out with the whole mark, the mark of the beast,
Right.
like in the like I think it was like the 2000s. I want to say like when I first like with the at least like with the internet.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. I was like I started hearing it like in the 2000s, like when YouTube was coming out real heavy. But the thing is, nobody wanted to be that person that was known as somebody had the mark of the beast.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, if you really study and understand the truth of the Bible, nobody wants to be who the Most High wants them to be.
Right.
You want to be so far away from, the mark of the beast. But you so far away from what the Most High wants you to be, which is the opposite of the mark of the beast.
Well, think about this too, right? Mostly all of us at that time that didn't want to have the mark of the beast had the mark of the beast.
God,
You understand what I'm saying? We didn't realize it, that we were already incorporated. Once you start putting on that red, white, and blue, once you start running for America, once you start, supporting America, once you start saying everything that we do is great in America, once you start saying, I am American, we all did it.
Right.
Like I told you, Dream Team was a tool for the mark of the beast. It made you be proud
Right.
to be an American. You understand? And America knows. Oh, listen, you ever heard them say that the enemy knows just what tools to use to make you get on the enemy's side without knowing it. He knows your weakness. That Dream Team was my weakness. It made me proud. Nobody could say nothing about me. Greatest nation on the face of this earth. Can't nobody beat us. You understand what I'm saying? I was incorporated. I was swallowed up by the armadillo. You understand what I'm saying? I was swallowed up by America. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, so, because like that's heavy because I remember feeling like I remember saying stuff like yeah, you see what we did to them when you talking about the army, you know what I mean? You talking about the government. You see how we went in Iraq. You see how we did, yeah, man. Like, I remember Lil Wayne. He had a line he said one time, and this was like at the height of his junkiness.
Right.
He said, man, he said, red pill, white pill, blue pill. Yes, I love my country. Man said red pill, white pill, blue pill. Yes, I love my country. And
listen, check this out. He embodied the spirit of America. The getting high,
right.
the singing for America that he does, the things that he does, You ever see him talk about his Uncle Bob?
The cop, right?
The cop,
Gun,
white cop.
gun.
Listen, he said that's his Uncle Bob because all the other cops ran past me and he stopped.
Right.
Saved me. So
Right.
that's a reason to love them all.
Yeah.
You understand that? And he embodies the spirit of America.
Right.
But really now, what I want to really get into, right? I want to get into the evils of America, the evils of the countries that America plots with. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't really understand that America, every nation that America is connected to, is a hateful nation. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to this. America, a lot of people are looking at America now as a paper tiger. You understand what I'm saying? You know what a paper tiger is? Definition of a paper tiger. A person or things that appear to be threatened, but is ineffectual. Ineffective. You understand? America appeared to be strong, but America's economy is collapsing. We feel it because we live in America and our eyes are open. We see what's happening to it. But a lot of people don't see that the way we see it. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
A paper tiger appears to be powerful. Paper tiger appears to be strong, but paper tiger just what it is. If you look at a paper tiger from the side, you see how frail it is. From the front, looks massive. But as you start to look at it from the side, you start to see the real frailness of the paper tiger. You understand what I'm saying? We look at America, look at what America does. Small country. Who could do what they could do to a country like Puerto Rico? Those small Caribbean islands, no protection. You understand? Or a country like Venezuela, whose government sells them out. Easy to look, powerful. How does a nation go in with what they said over 660 vehicles or helicopters and all kinds of stuff, aircrafts and everything go in, slow aircrafts have to be blown out of the air. How do they go in? Helicopters. And how do they go in, attack a country, and come out unscathed while hundreds of people are unalive? America is not as strong as we think. So then they use that and say, y'all see what happened to Venezuela. that could happen to you. But then Russia lets off that aggression. They say, oh, you haven't heard them say anything about Ukraine, right? After they let off that aggression. That other aggression last week, they let off. Ukraine running like crazy. But that ain't been on the news. We ain't heard nothing about that. Because America's not what we really thinking. You understand? And now we have to ask ourselves, because we say America's using Israel as a proxy, right? We say America's using Israel as a proxy, but is America really using Israel as a proxy? Let me ask you a question. How did Israel get started? How did Israel get started?
To America back, like giving them America back and help them get into
Right. Why did America help? Why did America think about this, right? Those people from Israel, or the so-called Israelis, where are they really from?
Poland,
Right?
Russia,
Right? Germany,
Germany,
Poland, you said Poland, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine,
right? Ukraine.
you understand?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, right? If they from all of those countries, how did they get in Israel? Why was they placed there?
Because crime was committed against them, and they tried to give them a state,
Well, they tried to put them,
and it was also a strategy.
right? Go ahead, tell me the strategy. you smiling like you know. Go ahead, tell me.
It was also a strategy of America for that to take over the Middle East.
There you go. There you go. Get it on the mark, right? It was a strategy because the Middle East was a warring nation. It was a warring nation. Ain't nothing soft about the Middle East. But when you pick the time, you got to make it seem. Now, let's not get it wrong. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. After World War One, the main power on the earth was America, right? Because all of the other nations that were in World War One were beaten, battered, and everything like that, and needed time to recover.
Right.
So America created the League of Nations. America's mistake was what in creating the League of Nations? They gave the other nations too much. So they really couldn't set a foothold over all of the nations. So America, even though they started the League of Nations, they backed out of the League of Nations. But they didn't have enough. They stayed solo, right? Stayed solo, and then what happened? They found a cause to fight for. So-called Jewish man being unalived in Germany, right? They could care less about them. They care less about them right now. You understand what I'm saying? But it was a cause to do just what Ron said. To place them over in the Middle East to get a foothold. Because if I'm not mistaken, the idea was to place them, was it in Nigeria or one of those African nations? He wouldn't let them do that. You understand what I'm saying? He said, they from Israel, I will place them in Israel and created an Israel. Took them over there. 1945, when World War II was over, every nation on the face of the earth destroyed itself. Except for the United States. So what did the United States do? Created the United Nations. Created the United Nations, placed them over there, and used them as a proxy. Because think about this: if you can be the country, if you feel like you're stronger than the country, what do you do? Straight up, muscle them out, take them out, do what you got to do.
But so what? Like Russia was still a superpower too, right?
Now at that time, remember it was the Soviet Union at that time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Soviet Union was where Germany tried to overrun them. Germany destroyed themselves because they were fighting on too many fronts. That was the real lacks of Germany. And then they waited to the wrong time to try to run up into South or run up into Moscow. You understand what I'm saying? And by that time, you had that Russian minister. They were standing with troops because they actually had them German troops. A lot of them was on opium.
Right.
To keep them juiced up. Not opium. What is it? What's the one that keep you juiced up? No. Drug. Steroids is a drug, but
Okay.
morphine.
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 Yeah.
Had them on morphine. Most of the German army, they fought so hard that they burned themselves out. That Russian winter. That's why when you see a lot of them photos, you see them frozen in the ground in the Russian winter. Because once that high starts to wear off, everything set. You start to actually feel that frostbite. That's what was killing them. And they took too long because if they would have went in the springtime, they could have overran Soviet Union and it would have been right. Understand? But waiting too long, America came in, and remember, all of the nations were fighting against each other. World War II, the only nation that America had to fight was Japan. That was it. They wasn't fighting everybody.
Right.
Remember, the Japanese was fighting everybody. And you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, most of America's losses came to D-Day and they stormed the beaches. That was it. That's why America came out on top. America became a superpower of the earth at that time. And then they created the United Nations. But this time they made sure they had total power. If they had veto power, nobody could veto what they did. Thus is what we see today. Now we got to create laws so that no other nation can rise up and be as powerful as us. You understand? Their power is by in laws, not in military might. It lies in laws. Think about it, right? After that 20-year stint in Afghanistan, they still didn't win anything in Afghanistan. Even after destroying Iraq, right? Even after destroying Iraq, toppling Saddam Hussein, they still ain't make no gain. Afghanistan is still being run by military. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't even really want to call them military. Person should be able to run the country the way they want to. Every country is sovereign. That's not how America looks at it. Now, moving over to Israel, 1949, they got the Senate. Right? They got placed over there so that the America can have a foothold on the Middle East. A beast is a beast, right? How many people know that Israel attacked America second time? How many people know that? Israel attacked America several times. A lot of people don't know, right? Read some of this stuff right here. Say America attacked. One of the years, right? In 1967, during the 6-Day War, Israeli aircraft torpedo boats attacked the U.S. Navy intelligence ship, USS Liberty, in international waters off the Sinai Peninsula. Casualties: 34 U.S. servicemen killed. 174. Listen.
What year you said?
That was 1967.
Okay.
Right? We keep looking at America. America is a great nation in propaganda. America's is a great nation in smoke and mirror. But America tends to push other nations in front, let them do all the fighting. Then when the opposition begins to tie it down and wear it down, that's when America. Even with the situation in Venezuela, right? America's been trying to topple Venezuela for years. Nobody knows it. The CIA is all that's been in Venezuela for years, right? They've been in Venezuela for years trying to topple that government. Once you pay off so many people, you can come into the government, you can come into the country unmolested. How do you think they got all those aircrafts in there? No aircraft shut down. Because when you have a secret intelligence agency inside of a nation for so many years, eventually your time will come and you can topple that nation just like they did. Understand? Just like they did Syria, just like they did Lebanon. Understand? Just like they did Libya. Look what they did to Muammar Gaddafi. You understand? After he said what he wanted for his people. You understand? And the United States can't have that, telling the African nations, yo, we gotta keep our resources to take care of our people. We gotta be out of it. Years and years and years, after years and years and years, they made his government terminal. Understand what I'm saying? Listen, it says official investigation. Both U.S. and Israeli governments concluded the attack was a case of mistaken identity. Listen, if you got a big flag on the side of your ship, American flag, right? You understand? How can it be mistaken identity? You understand what I'm saying? But so-called Israelis don't like to be interfered with. So they say it was mistaken identity. But America needs this proxy in the Middle East. Because we need them in the Middle East, we can't deal with them like we really want to deal. They're giving them what they said the other day, $3 billion a year just for the military. Right? It's not to mention all the other welfare that they get. And it is welfare.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So listen, it says the attack was a case of mistaken identity in a war zone. Israel stated it must identify the ship as an Egyptian vessel and apologize, paying reparation. Did y'all get reparation?
Yeah.
I ain't getting none of that. You understand what I'm saying? Listen. Controversy. It says many survivors and some U.S. officials, including former intelligence officers, have long disputed the friendly fire explanation, believing the attack was intentional to prevent the U.S. from intercepting Israeli military operations. However, no conclusive evidence has been presented to overturn the official finding. Listen, have y'all ever heard of Mossad? Mossad. You ever heard of Mossad? You ever heard of Mossad?
Wow.
You ever heard of MI6?
I mean, I think I've heard of Mossad, but I don't really remember.
Okay. We heard of the CIA, right? MI6 is the British CIA. Mossad is the Israeli CIA. Understand? Now, I'm going to show you a little correlation to something that's to the far left, but that's up front right now today. Epstein Island. In the files of the Epstein Island, they said it was always 2 Mossad agents at Epstein Island. That sink in. 2 Mossad agents always, every party that had, every freak off, always 2 Mossad agents. Go ahead. I see your brain turning. I see your brain turning. Hold up, nephew.
All right, okay, so dead is for security or dead for pleasure?
No. Neither one of them. Listen. Go ahead. What you going to say? I know you.
Was Epstein working with them to spy on, like, have information on American politics?
You got it. You got it. Listen. Mossad agents was there. Think about this, right? Now, I'm not throwing no conspiracy theories. President Trump came in saying what? He wants to stop all these wars and everything. He want to be the president of peace, right?
Right.
As soon as he got in, after he got the ear nick, what happened? His whole stance changed. Who was he a friend of?
Epstein.
When them files got blackened out, why did they get blackened out? They got blackened out. All of the stuff that had Trump named. So if I got evidence of what you did, and I say, well, look, I need you to do this. Think about all of the people that's quiet right now. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Everybody that was said would be at that Epstein Island. You understand what I'm saying? So they got evidence on you like strong enough to keep people quiet, strong enough to make people war in a place that they said they wanted the war and stop the war. Strong enough to make them say, I want to get this Ukraine war stopped. Instead of sending them more and more and more weapons. How is it that Benjamin Netanyahu can come over here, say what he wants, and go back and get what he wants? How many people said Israel has the right to defend itself when they destroying the unarmed people? The connection of America and Israel is a tighter connection than we think, but it's not a tight connection in the sense that I'm going to do this for you and you do this for me. The connection is, I need you to do this for me, or I show this for you. You understand what I'm saying? It said, listen, this says attack on the U.S. embassy in Tel Aviv in 1970. What happened? During the Yom Kippur War, an Israeli tank crew allegedly mistaken the building for an Egyptian position. Listen, it's always an Egyptian position. We mistaken it and thought it was an Egyptian ship. You understand? They mistaken it for an Egyptian. How can you mistake an embassy? It says, mistaking the embassy for a building for an Egyptian position, shelled the U.S. embassy in Tel Aviv. Casualties. No U.S. military personnel were killed, but 2 Israeli embassy guards died. Aftermath, the Israeli apologized, calling it a tragic error in the fog of war. You know, the fog of war is so much stuff going on all around that you don't know what's going on here to start fighting. Well, fog of war is what a lot of police use when they unalive us. Oh, there was so much stuff going on that I just was firing. I didn't know, who was firing at me. I was just firing where the bullet was coming from. And she just tragically got. What's her name?
You good? Go to the white lady?
No.
Sonya Madison? You went in the kitchen?
No. One with her boyfriend.
Oh, come on, the no knock.
Yeah.
Brianna?
Brianna Taylor. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that's what he said. So much stuff was going on. They was firing, bullets was going, and I was just shooting back where the bullets was coming from. She tries to see. You understand? This is the same thing that they use. What you got there?
You still have this verse.
Oh, no, you can drop that. Yeah, no. He was still holding it. He's still holding it. No, you can drop that now. Listen, it says U.S. Marine barracks bombed in Beirut in 1983. I remember that. I'm still in high school. You know what I'm saying? Indirect involvement allegations. Look, context. A catastrophic bombing that killed 241 U.S. service. Okay, I can go for that. Oh, Ron, I can go for that. I like that.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, this is why the catastrophic bombing that killed 241 U.S. service carried out by Hezbollah with Iranian backing. Some conspiracy theories and allegations, notably from a former Mossad case officer in a disputed documentary, have suggested Israeli intelligence might have had foreknowledge. These claims are widely disputed and have never been substantiated by officials, U.S. investigation, which placed full responsibility on Hezbollah and Iran. Listen, it's too many coincidences, right? That these people keep bombing at America. And listen, did y'all know that they had Israeli lobbyists here in America? That Israeli lobbyists. You got people lobbying congressmen, senators to keep the war. So when you look at a lot of these congressmen and senators, you ever see the ones that say, "Oh, Israel got a right to defend themselves"? Those are the ones that's defending. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, there was an incident in 2003 during the Iraqi war, 2003 to 2011. They're reported but not fully officially confirmed incidents where Israeli forces may have fired upon U.S. aircraft operating near the Syrian or Iraqi border, possibly misidentifying them as threat hostile states. You see how they keep misidentifying? So the attack on the convoy in Gaza, 2003, what happened? An American diplomatic convoy, heavily guarded by U.S. security contractors, not active duty military, was attacked in Gaza. A bomb detonated and there was subsequent gunfire. U.S. officials initially suggested the possibility of Israeli involvement, but later evidence pointed strongly towards Palestinian military. The investigation concluded it was not an Israeli attack. Okay? Think about it. It's too many incidents where this country, and this needs a peace. And listen, we look at, I'm showing you this to look at what they do to each other. So imagine how they feel about us. History is important because if you're looking at what they're doing to each other, you can understand what they would do to you. And you can make your provision or you can make your decisions upon what they're doing to them. We don't think like that because we got caught up so much so in American spirit. Can they get it right? The spirit of America. You understand what I'm saying? Listen. It says, listen, despite these incidents, the U.S. and Israel are close military and intelligence allies. They already said that the so-called Israelis spy on America. They steal American intelligence. You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to be an ally. How much of an ally is that? It's a Judas. That's a Judas. You continually helping this country out, but again, they had the Mossad agents at the Epstein Island. What was Epstein's purpose? It's a whole twisted thing, right? Because from that Epstein Island, from those Mossad agents out there, you still got that Ukrainian war going, and nobody seemed to get stopped. You still got them bombing so-called, what they call Palestinians in Gaza. Nobody gets stopped. You had them just to sweep into Venezuela. Nobody could stop it. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like congressmen and senators. How can you say after something happened, listen, next time you won't have to come to us? You ever seen somebody say, man, I know you stole that. Next time you need to come to me. You know, actually you know what I mean? That's America. America's not the nation that we think it is. America's not that loving country that comes to save countries. America is a pirate of a country. A pirate of a country that has a somebody that got those photos over their head, hanging over their head. You know how somebody got something more than you, and you like, look, you don't say nothing like you. You know what I mean? That's the Israeli. Listen, we keep looking at the Israelis as though America is using them as a proxy. But the Israelis are using America. You understand? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's almost like they keep forgetting those few names, but that one that had that quote you brought up before about being America's friend.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
That was shit. What's his name? What's his name? Hold up. Wait a minute. The name you got this over. I'm gonna pull that. What was it? What was his name? It's dangerous to be an enemy of America, but it's what they call it. Oh man,
Henry Kissinger.
yeah, Henry Kissinger. Yeah, that quote by Henry Kissinger.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Go ahead, read that quote.
It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal.
It's dangerous. Like you can avoid a dangerous spot, but you can't avoid something that's fatal.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, we got to look at it differently. It's dangerous to be an enemy of the so-called Israelis, but it's fatal to be their friend. Because every time they befriend one of those nations over there, they end up taking it over. They befriended Syria and Lebanon. Now they bombing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Syria thinking now, like, damn, maybe we shouldn't have did that. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, we keep thinking that we the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Nothing can stop us. We sitting here, and this is what we're sitting in right now. It's history. We sitting in the midst of America sinking. America sinking to the point where they had to go into Venezuela with a lie. They went in and said they called President Maduro a narco terrorist. Then when they brought him back to America, they didn't even charge him with drug charge. They wanted to get their hands on that voice. Now, guess what? You got all of those investors being leery about going over there. They don't trust the people over in Venezuela. Now, America may have done all that. No. Hijacking boats and everything. America just is operating, just like I said before, even with Venezuela and helping Cuba. A lot of those people that got kicked out of Cuba in the 70s and the 80s, a lot of those Jewish people, they got forced out. That's why they have in America cut Venezuela off, to cut Cuba off, to destroy Cuba. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Okay. Hey, let me ask a question.
Oh no.
Let's grab. I want to know. Book of Obadiah. No, as a matter of fact, Job 18. Well, go right. I want to grab Job chapter 18. Shalom. Take care of yourself. Let me stop like those millions. Yeah, now you got that.
Chapter 18, what verse?
Start. Let me grab it. Start. This is this scripture right here is about what we see right now. Right? This scripture right here is about and the fall of America is a slow pain. Understand? If you in love with America, it's a slow pain. It ain't falling fast enough for me. Understand? Got that?
Khan.
Go ahead, read that for me.
Job chapter 18, verse 11. Terrors shall make him afraid on every side.
Think about it, right? It says terror shall make him afraid on every side. You understand? America is in terror right now. You understand? They looking at a nation in Iran that they know they can't just go into. They don't have power. Understand? They know what kind of power Iran has. They looking at Russia same way. They seen that a Russian missile hit. They seen that missile that Iran laid on Israel that made Israel want to quit that little 12-day war that they had with them. You understand what I'm saying? America's looking at other countries like Colombia and Mexico. They're not stepping into those countries. They did Venezuela because they coerced the Venezuelan government to fall. You understand? Because there's no way you can fly into a country with that many vehicles and helicopters and things like that, and none be shot down. You understand? It says terror shall make him afraid on every side. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Khan, Slovakia. And shall drive him to his feet.
What does that mean when it says it shall drive him to his feet?
Make him get up, like make him do something.
Make him be alert. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in a relaxed. So listen, America has been in a relaxed state for a long time. America has only had to say something and nations move. You understand what I'm saying? But America doesn't have that power. If we look at America because we live in America right now, we look at America as America is still that great nation because of the propaganda that America puts out and makes us believe. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we still got people joining that military force, joining the police force, joining the Coast Guards and all that, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine, things like that. You understand? Because of the propaganda that they put out there for other nations, you see that America is not that strong. Go ahead. And it says it drives them to its feet because it's making America, you understand, America has to be alert now because now countries are suspecting of America. Go ahead.
Verse 12. His strength shall be hunger bitten.
What does that mean? His strength shall be hunger bitten. Strength shall be hunger bitten. What that means? Strength shall be hunger bitten. Means that he extends himself so much that he weakens himself. Think about all of the military bases that they have to maintain all around the earth.
Right.
Weakens. Think about this, right? It's the same way that the Roman army fell. Roman army positioned themselves in so many places that it couldn't defend itself against itself. Couldn't defend itself against the people to overthrow the Roman government. That's America today. America's being weakened by itself, extending itself so far and so vast, so many military bases around the earth that it's weakened. You understand? All of these nations are talking about we about to put a lot of these military bases up out of our country. You understand?
Right.
It says his strength shall be hunger bitten. You got so many fingers in so many different businesses. All of a sudden, your hands are open like this because all your fingers are in different businesses and everything that you have. You can't hold on to anything because you got too many fingers, too many places. You can't even sustain yourself. You understand?
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
And destruction shall be ready at his side.
And listen, destruction is ready at his side. All of these nations are ready to rile up against America. All of these nations are prepared. Listen, we just said it earlier. The Colombians said, listen, they done place military forces all along the Venezuelan border. You understand? Mexico already ready to go. Mexico ain't bull Johnny. Listen, they said a couple of months ago that them cartels told them they better not come across their border. America hadn't said nothing about Mexico. The cartel ain't joking with it. And that's a different terrain to be battling. You gotta put boots on the ground when you go in there. I don't think America want to lose that many troops up in that. You understand what I'm saying? You can send me up in that. Make sure my son is yeah. Understand?
Right.
We will make sure your son definitely don't think about that. Understand? We will keep our children safe. Understand? Go ahead.
Verse 13. It shall devour the strength of his skin.
Shall devour the strength of his skin. I think you hit this one for me. Didn't you? What does that mean? It shall devour the strength of his skin. I might not. When it says it shall devour the strength of his skin, think about the oppressor. As he starts to weaken, what do people start to say? He ain't strong as we thought.
Right.
He's just a paper tiger. Now everybody's starting to look at him from the side. They see the thinness. They see the frailness. Everything that's happening is making them look weak. Think about what he did in Venezuela, he had to do out of sheer pride. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And this was a thing that they have been planning to do for a long time because they understand that the nations are beginning to look at them different. People aren't as afraid of America as they used to be. That It shall devour the strength of his skin. Listen, when you see oppressors, you automatically, a lot of nations automatically yielded to them. You understand? Remember when they started talking about Kim Jong-un and how crazy he was? You understand? And because he wouldn't listen to America,
Right.
he understood that America wasn't as powerful as they thought, as long as you got what they got. America pulls, and if you think about the countries that America reigns its dominance on, it's always countries that don't have nuclear weapons, that don't have as much power as they do, that can't fight back, that can't defend themselves. Well, now countries are standing up, and that white skin is not as strong. It doesn't look as strong, and doesn't get the respect that it once got. You understand what I'm saying? The things that are happening now is devouring the strength of the skin. You understand?
Right.
Go ahead.
Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength.
Go ahead.
Verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle.
It says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. What does that mean? What's a tabernacle?
Tabernacle is your sanctuary.
Right.
Like, I guess your safe place or whatever.
Right. So where's the safe place at?
Here in America. Oh, well, would it in his weapons?
There you go. And its weapons and its government, tabernacle, government, and its laws. You understand what I'm saying? So it says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. All of that stuff that we thought about the American government, the government is falling apart now. It's confidence. Listen, the oppressor don't even have confidence in his own government.
Right.
You understand? He doesn't listen. He doesn't even trust in his own government, so much so that he's sending military forces on his own people. He can't use law now. Now he has to use power. He has to use strength. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But he has to use it on his own people. Now, what is he telling? The people over in Iran? He telling the Iranian what? Listen, if y'all kill any more of y'all people, we gonna come over there and we gonna do something. Iranians don't care. They ain't trying to hear that. Listen, it tells his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. Go ahead.
And it shall bring him to the king of terrors.
Who's the king of terror?
Yahusha.
No. The king of terror gonna be the most high.
Okay.
That's who will destroy this whole earth. That's who will destroy this government. That's who will make everything fall. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's the king of terror. So, with that, with the Israelite School, the University Practice now started out of 1 West, 125th Street, all New York, under commanding General DeHana. Been bringing this truth since 1969. What that truth? The truth is, so-called black, so-called Hispanics, and so-called natives are the greatest people that ever walked the face of this earth, and the Bible identifies us as the true biblical truth of the Bible. With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest Officer for Robert. Right.
We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in the Hebrew. You pronounce it Maishara. 10% of every penny, any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest funds, free will offering, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Up and coming Holy Convocation is, of course, we all know the 57th Lord's Annual Passover, which is April the 4th.
April the 4th.
And
Passover, April the 4th. Houston, Texas.
the Feast of Purim, which is
Second and third.
March the 2nd and 3rd. Remind Akim and Agwathium to check all social medias such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother or sister wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarf. And with that, Men of Israel, we're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadium, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak, Yahba Hashem Yah Shabrakatah, Yahya Matat, Saw, which means turns, sisters, Amadium, Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Alatham by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Yahya Matat. Class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom. Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.